Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while since I last published a video, and last night I was watching this video about language input methods by Moses McCormick, and I was thinking, well, I've been through this pain before, so I think I could show some easier ways to learn how to change the input methods in your computer and memorize them. Um, he mentioned the idea of making a map of the characters on an external source, like a piece of paper or something, and I've actually done that before, but it's quite slow and painful. So for those that would have access to different features in Windows 7 especially, but in also other Windows versions, especially if you have the installation CD for your computer. I think it would be this way that I'm gonna show you now is gonna be a little easier. Okay. Okay. So first thing is how to install an additional language keyboard. Okay. So you go to the start menu. Let me get this out of the way. You go to the start menu. You go to control panel, and then you click on clock, language, and region. There will be a little option here, change keyboards or other input methods. Then you click on change keyboard. Then you're going to be presented with this little menu here. Generally, the first one here should be English for most people. Sometimes there will be English and Portuguese or Spanish depending on where you are. But then you click on add. Here you're going to have this ginormous list of languages. You can see that there are some that are already selected, which are the languages that I have on my language menu. Then you come, click on it on keyboard, select the one you want to use. Generally the original will be like this. US is a different version. I don't mess around with that one because it's different. I don't like it. So then you select the languages you want, click OK. I'll just close because I'm already done with that. And then all the languages will show up on this list here. Okay? So there's no secret on this. Click on add a language. Then you apply. Second thing, you want to have access to these languages, right? So that's called the language bar. Okay, if you can see here, I have floating here this little bar. You can move it around, put it whatever you want. To make it show, you click here on this option, floating on desktop. You can also put docked on the taskbar. It will show here by the clock. If your bar is down here, it will show in this place. I like my bar here, so it will show here. Since I like it floating and I don't like this bar, so I generally hide it, I click on show the language bar as transparent when inactive, so it looks like this. When you hover over, it shows up, but if it's not there, it will disappear, like right now. Then you click on these options. Great. You can either click apply or wait until the end. And the next thing, you can select shortcuts for the languages that you want. For example, here I have all these little shortcuts. What you do, you click on the language, click on change key sequence, and enable key sequence. Then you have three options. You have Control, Control Shift, Left, Alt, and Shift. I use Control Shift because I have other shortcuts. I have this little application called Auto Hotkey that allows you to make tons of different shortcuts for softwares, for IPA if you want to use, but I'll show you this some other day. So okay, I generally use Ctrl Shift. So you select Ctrl Shift, and here there will be a list of numbers. You can only use the number line with the diacritical marks. Here the line is not showing because I already selected all the numbers. So you select the number you want, click OK, and it will be assigned to the language you want. So if you want to call a language, you hold Ctrl and Shift down, and you press a number, the corresponding number to the language, and it will come up. You can make a list until you memorize it, but with the time you're going to get used to the sequence. Then you click apply, OK. I'll just close because I have already set, and you can get this out of the way. Then you can call on Notepad to make a test. Let me use the other one. And the next step is, let me check here. We got the language bar floating here. We have the input method, which is Notepad. And by the way, you can use this with Word, Excel, Notepad, Internet Explorer, or any other internet browser. And then for you to memorize, for you to use this, you can go to Start menu, All Programs, then you scroll down to Accessories, and Ease of Access. This is generally designed for people that have difficulties using the keyboard or seeing things on the screen, but there's one option that you can use. It's called the on-screen keyboard. You can either click on this or you can pin to the taskbar. So it will show up like this. Okay. The neat thing about this is that as you change the language, as you click here, you have the list of languages that you chose. As you change the language, the keyboard will change too, so you can see where the letters are. So you forget your mouse, you don't need to use it anymore, and you can just type away. Like you can type по-русски, по-русски. Or you can change to another language. You can either come here and select a language, or you can use the shortcuts. I'm going to change to Arabic, so I hold Ctrl Shift, press 3, which is the one that I already memorized, and I can type in Arabic like أهلا. Okay, or I can change to Japanese. And then in Japanese you need to change the input, because if you just change Japanese and write, it will write in Latin characters. So you come here and change to hiragana, and then you can type, for example, Nihongo hanashimashou ka, and you see it's all in hiragana. But if you press spacebar, look at the magic. Oops, this is wrong. Hanashimashou ka. When you press the spacebar, it changes the hiragana into kanji. So Nihongo hanashimashou ka. Then you press enter, and it's there. Beautiful. Or you can change to Chinese. You can see that the bar changes when I use the shortcut on my keyboard. And then you can write 大家好. In Pinyin, press spacebar, 大家, spacebar again. Then the next one, how, spacebar again, and it's there. Okay, so that's how you make the input. So now let's suppose that you've done all this, but your objective is to copy from a file. Let's suppose you want to copy from Arabic. You put the file there on the corner, or the image, or the website, and then you go and change to Arabic, either by the bar or the shortcut, and you can just type واحد اتنين ثلاثة oops oh. أربعة, and then that's how it works. And then you can save the file on that format. For example, let's save this file. With Notepad, there's a little secret to it. With Word, Excel, you can save the file and you don't need to change anything. But when you save with Notepad, you need to change one little option here. You go to Save, and you're going to have these options here. Encoding. You must change to one of these three. I generally use UTF-8, but let me show you what happens if you don't change that. Let me go back to English. Test. I'll save in the desktop, and I'll save without changing the encoding. Okay, just so you can see. See, it saved the name, and it's still showing in Arabic, so you believe that everything is fine. But unfortunately, it is not. When you close the file and you try to open again, see, it is here, test. When you open again, it is, oh, in this case it showed. Oh, interesting. I think I just lied to myself here. Let me see what happened. Oh, it's because I put the computer encoding to Arabic. Let me put, I'll do something different here. Let me write in Chinese. Those things happen. Okay, so 我是 sorry 我是 number one 中文学生 Where's the one that I want? There we go. Put a dot, and I'll save this. Okay, now the problem will show up because I changed my computer Unicode identification to Arabic. Every time I type in Arabic, it's going to be recognized. But since I'm using Chinese and I didn't change that option, it is going to give me a message saying that there are Unicode characters, but because I chose this ANSI encode, those characters will not be saved. So if I click on continue, it shows perfectly here. But when I close, if I close the file and try to open again, Chinese is not going to be there. That's why I need to go to the saving options and change the encoding to UTF-8. Now if I change, I'll overwrite because that's what I want, and I go back here and try again. 我是 what is my Chinese? Let me call it Chinese again. 我是中文学生 bar. And that's not what I wanted, so I'll select one again, 中文 bar 学生 period, save it. Now if I close it again, and open it again. Come on, work with me here. Then there we go. There it is. Okay, so well, have fun. This is the way you do. Just so you see how the shortcuts are very helpful. I don't need to click here. Here I have English. If I want Persian, I use my shortcut, or Arabic, or Hindi, or Russian, or Korean, then Japanese, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Portuguese. Oh, by the way, you're gonna notice that here I don't have, although I speak French and Spanish, you're gonna see that there are no keyboards for Spanish and French. Why? Because Portuguese cover both of them. You can do the ñ, or you can do the cedilha for French using Portuguese. But then if you run out of numbers like I did, you can use just Control and select other numbers. For example, in number 1 I have English, but I also have Greek. One I hold Ctrl and Shift, and the other is just Control. Number 2 I have Persian and Pashto. In number 3 I have Arabic and Hebrew. And you can even use Mongolian. Check this out. If you go to the keyboard, you can use traditional Mongolian. Where am I writing here? Okay, look at this. You can even type in traditional Mongolian. Of course, this traditional Mongolian is a vertical language, but since Windows is not able to write vertically, it writes on a horizontal, and you can print and just turn the page. And you can also use Thai, and we change to Thai. Anyway, this is how it works. I hope this gave you some different tools to write in different languages. If you have any comments or questions, just let me know, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.